Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to Chapter 20. We're talking about the organ systems. We're up to the endocrine system. The endocrine system is hormones. Endocrine system is all about controlling the body. Remember, the nervous system is about controlling the body, right? We'll talk about the nervous system in just a minute. But the endocrine system controls the body slower. The comparison between the nervous system and the endocrine system is the difference between a text and a letter. A text is a form of communication that is instant. It shoots right there. A letter is a form of communication that takes a lot longer to get there. And that's basically the relationship. The nervous system is instantaneous, or nearly so. And the endocrine system takes a lot longer. It takes seconds or even days for the body to respond to the message sent by the endocrine system. The hormones that are secreted by the endocrine system, it depends on the particular organ we're talking about. Each different endocrine organ, a gland, each different endocrine organ has a different set of hormones that it releases that influences different parts of the body. But that is the point of being an endocrine gland, and that is that you release a hormone. A hormone is a chemical messenger. You release a hormone that influences some other cell farther away from the body. It doesn't just influence cells right where it is. This chemical messenger influences cells that are further away from the body. And here we see some endocrine organs. You probably can't see very well in the picture, but up here we've got the hypothalamus and the pituitary. This is the thyroid and the parathyroid. You have the thymus, the pancreas, the adrenal glands, and the testicles in a man, and the ovaries in a woman. These are your primary endocrine organs, though most of our organs have at least some endocrine tissue. Your stomach has endocrine tissue in it. Your stomach makes and releases some hormones. Your intestines have endocrine tissue. They make and release some hormones. So most of your organs have some endocrine tissue. My immune system, obviously, is all about keeping me healthy and alive, fighting off infection. Working with the immune system is the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system it's kind of like a bridge between the cardiovascular system and the immune system. They work together, they have similar goals, and to be fair, they even share similar cells. The lymphatic system and the immune system. But the immune system is specifically for fighting off infection. The lymphatic system does help with fighting off infection, but it also kind of cleans up some fluid, cleans up some tissues. These two systems, they work together. They're actually very intricately, intimately related to each other. And both of these are intimately related with the cardiovascular system, the heart and the arteries and veins. We'll talk more about these particular systems in their individual chapters when we get there. The nervous system, we said just a minute ago, is all about communication and control. The primary organ is the brain, followed by the spinal cord. We can see all the nerves going out throughout the body. If somebody's talking about nerve damage, it's because one of these wires got cut. And presently, we don't really have very good technology for making those wires, for making those nerves regrow. We're working on it. It's slow going, and there has been some advancement. However, lots of people still have and will continue to get nerve damage. The job of the nervous system, it coordinates the body's activities. We said this before, that the brain is the puppet master, and the nerves are the strings. The job of the nerves are to send messages out to the body, but also to bring messages back up to the brain, detecting stimuli. If you touch a hot stove, if you're holding a cold ice cube, if you accidentally stab your finger with a pin, the brain is instantly notified of this stimuli, of this damage. Once the brain receives all of this stimulus coming in, it's then got to figure out what is important. What should I pay attention to, and what should I do something about? Processing and integrating information. I don't think you understand how important that is. At any given time, you've got hundreds of things, hundreds of stimuli coming into your brain, all vying for the brain's attention. And you have to concentrate on one, maybe two of those. And to be fair, you can really only concentrate on one thing at a time. You just concentrate on the one thing at a time that is noisiest. The one thing at a time that is loudest. The one thing at a time that is demanding the most attention. Kind of like the little baby bird that is the hungriest is the one that peeps the loudest. Your brain is mommy bird, and it's paying attention to all of the baby birds, and all of the baby birds are all the incoming stimuli. And you've got to sort out which one to pay attention to and which ones to ignore. And that's why very often people are talking to you, and you can hear them, but you're not paying attention to them. And they say, "Hey, do you hear what I just said?" "Huh? What? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention." Integrating it into a coherent thought. And then, as we already said before, the job of the brain is to direct responses. It's to make the body operate properly. The reproductive system is all about the next generation. The reproductive system. The penis and testes and a couple of extra organs. The ovary and the uterus and the vagina and a couple extra organs. These things have to work together to make the next generation. That's what the reproductive system is all about. Of all of the systems, this is the one you can live without. But to be fair, you still need bits and pieces of this to live healthfully. If they remove your ovaries, if they remove your testicles, you need to go on hormone replacement, because suddenly losing those hormones can have a drastic effect on a lot of things. Your biological health, your mental health. A lot of these things need to get replaced. If they're removed completely, you need to have hormone replacement. Otherwise, you're going to go cuckoo. All right? This is the one system you can live without most of it, but not necessarily all of it. The job of the reproductive system is to make gametes. Remember that gametes is a blanket term. Blanket term that refers to both eggs and sperm. The job of the reproductive system is to make gametes, to make those sex hormones we were just talking about. The female reproductive system, because women always have more jobs than men do, more complicated things. I'll reveal a tiny bit of sexism. In almost every way, women are more complicated than men. Almost every way. And the reproductive system is no different. Their reproductive system is way more complicated than a man's is. There's only one small way that men are more complicated, but all the rest of the ways women are more complicated. So they've got more responsibility when it comes to this process called reproduction. Her reproductive system is also has to support that growing embryo, has to keep that thing alive for 9 months until she gives birth to it, and then she has to keep it alive for the next year by feeding it, by making milk. Way more complicated in so many things, so many biological, physiological things. The body is way more complicated, a woman's body. This is showing all of those systems in a generalized organism. Here's that respiratory system, bringing oxygen in and out. Here's the cardiovascular system, moving the oxygen and carbon dioxide around. Here's the integumentary system, holding everything together. Here's the digestive system, bringing food in and releasing food out. Here's the urinary system, which takes waste from the blood and releases it. This isn't showing a reproductive system, but I guess you can give it a penis or a vagina, whichever one you want to give it. All of these systems having to work together. This is a generalized animal that has to have all of these systems to stay alive, to operate, to work. The process for staying alive is called homeostasis. This is how your body maintains a steady state, how your body maintains normal operating procedures for everything. Normal blood sugar, normal body temperature, normal activity level, normal hormone level, normal oxygen level, normal carbon dioxide level, normal food level. We could just keep going on and on and on and list all of the normal levels that your body has to keep track of every day, and not just every day, but moment to moment within each day. And this whole process is referred to as homeostasis, how your body maintains all of these levels within normal conditions. It's really, really, really very complicated. The external environment is constantly changing. Just imagine a normal June day. What is the low when you wake up most days in June? Oh, 70, 75. What's the high going to be most days in June? Oh, 90, 95. So we're talking about a 20 to 25 degree temperature change between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. And in those same 12 hours, how much did your body temperature change? Well, when you're asleep, which you probably were at 6 a.m., I prefer to be asleep at 6 a.m., your body temperature drops about a degree. If you're outside working, cutting grass, clearing a lot, your body temperature is going to go up about a degree. So within a normal 12 hours, your body temperature might change 1 or 2 degrees. In the same amount of time, the external environment changed 20 degrees. How did you maintain that normal level of body temperature? Homeostasis. When you get too cold, you shiver. When you get too hot, you sweat. This is illustrating what happens when we are too hot. When we're too hot, the brain recognizes that we're too hot by receiving information from the skin. It then says, oh, we're too hot. Let's activate the sweat glands. So the sweat glands then release sweat, which will cool us off. Detectors in the body then detect that we are cooling off. That message gets sent back to the brain that says, okay, we're cooler now, so we don't have to sweat as much. It's just a big loop. This isn't keeping us cool. This isn't keeping us warm. This time, it's too cold. And so because we're too cold, the brain does not operate the sweat gland. This time, the brain operates the muscles, and it tells the muscles to shiver, to make extra heat, so that we can fight this cold. One thing about shivering. When you shiver, do you shiver at the same level the whole time, or does it come and go in waves? When you shiver real hard for a minute or two, and then it slows down a little bit, and you shiver real hard again for a minute or two, and then it slows down again. It comes and goes in waves, because as you're shivering, you're making all that waste heat with your muscles. That warms your body up. And the body says, oh, hey, good, we're warm now. And the brain says, all right, then relax, calm down that shivering. And so then you start to shiver less. And then when you start to shiver less, you start to lose body heat again. And so the body says, oh, hey, we're getting cold again. And the brain says, okay, well, we'll shiver some more then. And then the body shivers some more then. Okay? All right. See you at chapter 21.